Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shawna Spillin', the Presley tea. And boy, do we have some tea to spill tonight. There are sources out there, and there are channels out there that have been using these sources. So right now, basically, it's public domain at this point. So I'm going to throw this stuff out there. The news was already broke on some of this thing, on some of the stuff I'm going to read tonight to you and talk to you about. But you guys, there might be some of you that don't know what's going on, and you could have went to any Elvis channel right tonight. But guess what? You came to mine, and for that, I love y'all, and I thank y'all for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, each and every one of you guys. But anyways, we have some tea to spill, and I have about a good 4 or 5 stories for you tonight. I'm going to try and fit them all in. There's been a lot of things happening. I mean, think of it this way. Prissy Pants cannot stay out of the news. The good, the bad, the ugly. It don't matter. Publicity is publicity, baby, when it comes to Hollywood. And boy, she been in it. And we're going to get to stories with her in it, okay? It just seems like she can't get away. I did want to throw in some Stephen Schutz. There's a Stephen Schutz post I saw the other day that I actually missed and didn't see. So I want to read that to you. And Stephen, thank you so much for being vigilant. And thank you, just thank you for letting us all know how it really is with Priscilla. But anyways, thank you, Stephen Schutz. And with these sources, it's all out there. Like I said, at this point, it's public domain at this point. So I'm going to throw it out there as I got the news, okay? And for all y'all tuning in, this is for entertainment, mostly entertainment purposes only, okay? It's my opinion of what I read in the news. And boy, there is some Elvis tea, well, Presley tea, to spill to you tonight. So anyways, I'm going to go to the first story up here. I'm going to read you what I know. And some of it you guys might know, some of y'all might not know. But whatever it is, y'all came here. You guys want tea? I'm going to give it to you. Now, Tanya Jenkins is my graphic girl. She does my graphics every single time I do a show. And she's just the best at it. And she'll do anything for me. And I love you, Tanya. So you guys, in the comments, please tell her that you appreciate her and her graphics. And she'll see you in the comment section of our live show on Friday, okay? But tell her you love her, okay, guys? All right. So this article is from Stephen Schutz, okay? And it's titled GWS Auctions, okay? And if you guys know, we already went through who is GWS Auctions, and that's Bridget Cruz, right? And we had her in the news recently, didn't we? So listen to this. Once again, buyers beware Bridget Cruz, GWS. First, please note, Priscilla Presley is no longer offering letters of authenticity, but letters of recollection. Letters of recollection. Ponder on that for a minute. That is called legal maneuvering to protect oneself against liability. It would appear Priscilla isn't sticking her neck out so much anymore to protect Bridget Cruz's unethical business practices. Priscilla Presley is giving a letter of recollection on a supposedly film-worn leather jacket from Roustabout. I twice stated this jacket was not authentic. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, guys. Whew. Huh. Whew. Anyway, twice I stated this jacket was not authentic upon viewing it in person. For one, the jacket is no more than 30 to 35 years old. Roustabout was filmed in 1964. So you do the math. There is a lengthy backstory regarding this jacket as well. I'll save for another time. Multiple pieces of country music artifacts are authentic in GWS's auction. Many of those pieces, including the Elvis Presley Army hair originated from me, but as you note, my COAs are not mentioned. I don't take it personal. I find it amusing that Bridget's credibility relies on other paid people, such as with Priscilla, not on her own knowledge. Bridget Cruz is a Johnny come lately, whose contacts are stolen, knowledge of the business is borrowed, final auction results are fabricated, and a desire to leave a positive legacy for her children takes a back seat to greed and desperation. Sounds a lot like somebody else we know, right, guys? Priscilla, by all appearances, is backpedaling on her involvement with GWS. The irony is EPE is sitting on the knowledge with the largest archive in the world regarding Elvis, yet they fail to utilize the endless records and documents at their fingertips. I'll be the first to admit I would pay to research, to gain knowledge and answer questions once and for all on Elvis' historical gaps. I know many other collectors, historians would as well. Unfortunately, EPE can't get out of their own way when it comes to being a true leader in Elvis archive world. On a final note, as stated in my previous Disc Graceland post, the majority of the items being offered at GWS come from Jim Crowell, the trading post in Michigan. All items were horribly stored for decades. I saw all these items in person multiple times over a 25-year period. Inspect for damaged instruments due to inconsistent temperature storage and dry, rotted, moth-holed clothing. Priscilla, stick with your animal rights activism as I and others do. Writing letters of recollection for an ethical company isn't a good look on you or on Elvis's legacy. Stephen M. Schutz. Yep, so there's that on Bridget Cruz's auctions and where Priscilla is on that. So I hope you like that little tidbit of tea, and thank you, Stephen, so much for writing that article and opening our eyes and letting us know what's really going down at GWS auctions, you know? Now, here's another little tidbit for you guys, okay? This is funny. So, Richard Logner finally gets his dance. Priscilla Presley, 78, waltzes with the billionaire 91 at the Vienna Opera Ball after his $500,000 date with Kim Kardashian ended in disaster. So let me guess. Priscilla had to kind of what was she doing? Was she kind of prostituting herself out to this rich billionaire so she can, be on screen? Is this it? I mean, she went to Vienna Ball. I understand that. But this guy pays people to date him and dance with him. So I wonder how much she got out of that. I wonder how much money she got out of that ordeal. I know it had to be an ordeal for her. I don't think she would go for free. Do you guys? So tell me in the comment section below what you think about this, because according to sources and this photo, Priscilla Presley danced the night away with this guy. And he also pays hundreds of thousands of dollars for his dates. So that shows you he's not gonna he's gonna pay for his dates. So I kind of wonder how much money he paid her. Aren't you guys kind of curious about that? Because I know I am. I mean, how much money does it take to dance with a 91-year-old man? All right, that you don't even have feelings for, right? So that was also some tea that was in the news recently. Here's something else. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? I know some of you have, and some of you probably didn't. But at the Super Bowl, so this happened. So the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, right? Right? So right when the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl and Kelsey gets to be interviewed, what does he do? He starts screaming, not singing, screaming "Viva Las Vegas," which makes Elvis relevant again because, Vegas, Elvis, so I'm glad he was mentioned. But you could see Taylor Swift was kind of like, "Oh, please don't sing anymore, Kelsey," but he wasn't singing. He was screaming, but he was all in the moment, right? He won the Super Bowl. Well, not him. There's no I in team, but he helped win the Super Bowl, right? His team won. So he was very excited about that. But what I liked about Kelsey doing it, rather he screamed it, yelled it, or whatever, he still mentioned in a way our guy Elvis. And he made him relevant again. So it really didn't matter. A lot of people ask me what was my thoughts on this, and that's what I'm giving to you guys. My thoughts on Kelsey screaming, "Viva Las Vegas!" Hey, it sucked, but it put our guy back in the limelight again for just even a minute, And that's good. Any news about Elvis is good news because that means he's relevant again. They're putting him out there. Even the Colonel used to tell, Elvis, it doesn't matter about good publicity or bad publicity. Publicity is publicity. And that goes to this very day. But that exception does not go across to Priscilla, right? So we got Prissy Pants doing whatever she always does. And of course, like I said, this story already broke, a couple days ago, and a few people have already talked about this, but I'm going to name you the sources of where you can find this, okay? So, Rolling Stone. Priscilla Presley battles, claims she formed company amid insolvency scare, then ghosted partner. The Daily Beast. Priscilla Presley sued by self-titled company she co-created? You can't make this stuff up, guys. Source number 3. The Hollywood Reporter. Priscilla Presley fights lawsuit from ex-business partner who claims she brokered A24 movie? Yeah. Source 4. Priscilla Presley accused of recently being broke in lawsuit. Broke? Source number 5. Billboard. Priscilla Presley faces lawsuit claiming she betrayed business partner who prevented financial ruin. Aww. That pretty much says it all. Okay. To me, that's hilarious. Now, I'm going to read you some of these news articles so you guys get an idea of why Prissy is in the news once again. Well, here's the reason. So I'm going to be reading from, let's see. I'm going to be reading from the Daily Beast, so you guys can look it up. Look up thedailybeast.com. Priscilla Presley sued by self-titled company she co-created. And you'll find where I got it from. So here we go. Get that popcorn, because this might be good here, guys. I mean, I don't know. It's the first time I've read it. So you're going to read it with me. All right? All right. Daily Beast. Priscilla Presley sued by self-titled company she co-created. Priscilla Presley is being sued by Priscilla Presley. The company, or more precisely, the former wife of Elvis Presley, is being sued by Priscilla Presley Partners, LLC, PPP, which won the first round in the lawsuit filed in October when an Orange County, Florida judge ordered an an evidentiary hearing to determine whether the Florida court has jurisdiction over Los Angeles-based Priscilla and PPP's case. The lawsuit alleges that in 2022, Priscilla was broke and sought help from an auctioneer, Bridget Cruz, who agreed to help her exploit her name and likeness. For several years, the two had been developing a relationship as Cruz helped Presley auction off some of Elvis's memorabilia. But then the lawsuit says Prissy Pants asked Cruz to take on even more responsibility, and the two of them formed PPP in January of 2023, with Cruz as majority owner. You know what's crazy, guys? January 2023. Isn't that when poor Lisa died? When she died. The timing seemed good, as Cruz says in her complaint that she helped negotiate the movie project Priscilla, based on Presley's memoir, Elvis and Me, which was being produced by A24 and directed by Sofia Coppola. But months later, as the film was about to come out, Cruz alleges that Presley suddenly cut off her and PPP, excluding her from film premiere and any other opportunity to do business. Now, PPP is suing Priscilla for breach of contract in Florida, where PPP was formed, and Priscilla's response is a claim that she is based in Los Angeles and has no real ties to Florida. Really? Isn't Scientology in Florida? I still don't think she quit. I swear, I still don't think she quit, okay? For some reason, my mind is still focused on her being in Scientology. That's just my opinion, but I'm throwing it out there. Cruz, as PPP's owner, was successful in convincing Judge John E. Jordan to order an evidentiary hearing to be scheduled in the next 45 days. We're going to hear some more about this, guys. And she's also seeking to admit video of Presley signing the documents creating PPP. So she's got her signing it on camera. Bridget, girl, you smart. But I don't know how smart you are, because according to Stephen Schutz, Bridget Cruz is telling people she had cancer and had a heart attack when Stephen Schutz was asking her for the money that she owed him. I had a heart attack, or I have cancer. How dare you ask for money at this time? I'm dying. Well, it doesn't work if you don't die, Bridget. So, seems to me she's been telling some tales of her own, you know what I'm saying? It might not always be, Priscilla Presley. It could also be Bridget Cruz is a lot like her. I think they both have found their match. I really do. I do hope that Bridget gets what's owed to her, but I really don't think that Bridget's going to be a good person after she gets that. According to Stephen Schutz, she owes him money, and she won't pay him the money because she fakes having cancer, and other people she fakes having a heart attack. So it's like, which one is it? Cancer or heart attack, man? Because, yeah, come on. Really. And I've been looking at Bridget Cruz's Instagram account, where she's under Dame Bridget Cruz. She looks fine to me. Last picture she posted was her and her husband, or her boyfriend, or whoever she's with, probably husband. But she looked fine to me. I don't know. But anyways, and while that's all being hashed out between Cruz and Presley in the court, Cruz has revealed some interesting details about Priscilla's financial woes in the meantime. Really, Bridget? Do tell. Do tell. It is well known that Priscilla was not a beneficiary of Elvis's estate. The lawsuit states, pointing out that Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, was his primary beneficiary. So the complaint says Priscilla has had to rely on her celebrity to make ends meet. And by 2022, she was facing large liabilities. Well, wait a minute. She had all those houses she had to sell, right? Oh, and what about that $1 million she got from the settlement between her granddaughters and her? Yeah, 'cause she had to take her granddaughters to court. Who does that? And what about the 900,000 a year? Was it that she? So where's all the money, Prissy Pants? Where's all the money, honey? Where's all this money she's been hoarding? Really? Where'd it go? Where'd it all go? Anyway, in that August, the complaint alleges that she asked Cruz to step in and leave her auctioneer duties to help her full time. Of course she did. Cruz agreed to help Priscilla, and she brought on more help and a man named Kevin Fialco. And wasn't that guy the same guy that was also supposed to be the executor of Benjamin's trust with Bridget Cruz, and now he's the he's the sole one now? I'm not quite sure. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but that name does look familiar to me. Once they committed the job, however, they realized that Priscilla was in a deeper financial hole than they knew. Is that why she's kind of loaning or prostituting herself out to some 91-year-old rich billionaire over there in Vienna? Is that why? Is that why? I was reading somewhere Darby Shaw said it's like indecent proposal. But my point of view, who would want to date her anyway? But then again, she's probably a big catch for a 91-year-old man. I digress, but still, you guys can tell there is not much love between me and Elvis's ex-wife. I have told you a million times, if I ever walk in on her or ever bump into her, I'm turning around and going the other way. Because no respecting Elvis fan should actually adore her and worship her in any way, shape, or form. In fact, nobody should worship anybody, but nobody should treat Priscilla like she is queen of anything, because she's not. She should forever be known for the woman that slept on Elvis and left him. That's who she should be forever associated for, not his ex-wife, not his whatever widow game she's playing, but what she really did. People need to start seeing her for what she is, and that's someone that took advantage, had the golden egg, which was Lisa Marie, cheat on him the first chance that she got, then leaves him for the karate instructor that he helped set up with her because he thought maybe she needed to learn karate. But it's still, she left him. Elvis divorced her too, first. He's the one that filed, not her. He did. So a lot of people get their history on Elvis and Priscilla all mixed up. You know, but stick on this channel and we'll get you straight. But anyways, Priscilla was approximately 60 days from insolvency. Additionally, Priscilla was faced with nearly $700,000 in unpaid tax debt, with no promise of future income, the lawsuit states. The next month, in September 2022, news broke that Coppola was directing a film version of Priscilla's memoir. PPP claims that Bridget Cruz and Fialco took advantage of the news about the upcoming film to help Priscilla crawl out of her financial hole. Yep, can't turn the page. There we go. In January 2023, they made it formal when Priscilla was in Florida signing an agreement to create PPP on January 8th. Ironically, that was Elvis's birthday. Her ex-husband. Business as usual, folks. Business as usual. Cruz would hold 51% of the membership of PPP, and Priscilla would be a minority owner for 49%. Cruz and Priscilla agreed to form PPP to own, control, develop, protect, and commercially exploit Priscilla's name, image, and likeness. Like we give a flying hoot about her name, image, or likeness. Okay? She was nothing but a burden and a torture device for Lisa. She did nothing but totally torture that girl throughout her whole entire existence. I know it. I know it. I feel it in my heart. If you guys do your research, you should know it. There's nothing about a mother that she did with Lisa. All she did was drop her off with the first person thing she could think of, and Scientology was the first one she could think of. Just you, Scientology, deal with her. Deal with her. And then drop her off. So it kind of makes me upset to think that she thinks, no, it doesn't make me upset. It's funny that she thinks that her likeness and her image and her name is anything. Does she think she's Elvis Presley, folks? Does she think she's him? Oh, she cray, guys. There's no way in any dimension that she thinks that could be him right there. No, I'm sorry. This is sad to think that she hired Bridget Cruz to exploit her name, likeness, and image. I mean, come on. What Cruz and Fialco didn't know, according to PP's lawsuit, was that Priscilla had already sold her right to the name Presley to Authentic Brands Group, and so PPP was limited to exploiting her first name. So see, she kind of screwed herself on that one. Yeah, it shows she wasn't much of the shrewd businesswoman that she thought she was. Oh. Cruz and Priscilla agreed to form PPP to own, control, develop, protect, and commercially exploit her name, like I said. Also, just days after the agreement was signed, on January 12th, Priscilla's daughter, Lisa Marie, died, throwing everything into chaos. It sure did. A highly publicized dispute ensued, for example, over the fact that in 2016, Lisa Marie had amended the Promenade Trust, which she had received from her father's estate, and replaced Priscilla with her own children. Priscilla contested this, claiming that Lisa's signature had been forged, leading to a press frenzy over the apparent battle over Lisa's money between her daughter, Riley Keough, and her mother, Priscilla. Some of the media at the time noted that odd detail that Priscilla was filing her petition through her attorney, in fact, a woman named Bridget Cruz. The dispute was settled in May of 2023, with Priscilla receiving $1 million. I thought she was broke. And PPP continued to work on exploiting Priscilla's name, image to help her raise money. But in June 2023, a man named Keough Morgan arrived on the scene, saying he was a friend of Priscilla's and claiming he wanted to help PPP do its work, the lawsuit says. In August, Cruz was sent a letter from Morgan's attorney accusing her of misconduct, including trying to sell Priscilla's house and demand that she cease any activity on behalf of Priscilla. Priscilla herself, at that point, cut off all contact with PPP or Cruz and excluded them from the premiere of Priscilla movie at the Venice Film Festival, September 4th. It opened wide on October 27 to positive reviews, but it only made $30 million worldwide box office, which isn't much compared to some people making their movies. Okay, and it didn't receive any Oscar nominations. 3 days later, after the Venice Film Festival premiere, NBC announced that it was producing a special titled Christmas at Graceland. Cruz and Fialco were also excluded from this deal or the production. Well, that means because Priscilla wasn't on it, so I get that. In November, Priscilla's law firm, Cozen O'Connor, filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit for lack of jurisdiction, saying that Priscilla was a California resident and had no business in Florida. Cozen O'Connor did not respond to a request for the comment. But by this point, Cruz, Fialco, and PPP itself alleged that they had been frozen out entirely by Priscilla. So PPP is suing pointing to the agreements that were signed at the beginning of 2023 and alleging breach of contract. Well, where you come from, when you sign a contract and you say you're going to do business with that person, you do business with that person until the contract ends. This is just petty. Petty, petty, petty. I hope that Cruz wins. I don't particularly like Cruz because what she's done and what Stephen Schutz has opened all of our eyes to what Bridget Cruz has done. But I'd rather have Bridget Cruz win than Priscilla at this point. I want some karma. I want some poetic justice. I want something so eye-opening that it's like jaw on the ground. You know, she deserves stuff. Just my opinion, okay? I know a lot of you guys probably feel the way that I do. Some of you guys might. But there are reasons, and there are reasons why I don't particularly like Prissy Pants, okay? Hence why I call her Prissy Pants. Some people, you know, don't understand why I feel the way that I do, but if you've researched and seen the things and heard the things that I have about this woman, you would not like her either. I'm just saying. I every day I try to find something I could possibly like about that woman, and I can't find anything. I'm sorry. I can't even say to myself, oh, but she was Lisa's mother. Besides, biologically, was she? Answer that. Was she? What do you guys think in the comment section below? I mean, just because she was biologically doesn't mean that she was where Lisa needed her the most. And we all know the truth on that. But anyways, Priscilla claimed that Cruz had targeted her in California and eventually convinced Mrs. Presley to allow Mrs. Cruz to become Mrs. Presley's business manager and trusted advisor. The motion claims that Priscilla eventually realized that Cruz was attempting to misappropriate Miss Presley's assets and were engaging in other acts of wrongdoing. I think they're perfect for each other. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that Cruz and Priscilla, Prissy Pants, are perfect for each other. They just are. They just are. Anyways, but Priscilla had no real ties to Florida and was the minority or owner of PPP. Her attorney argues, so the court lacks jurisdiction over her. PPP's lawyer, Kate Shaft, responded by pointing out that the lawsuit concerns a Florida-based company, PPP, that was formed in Florida by a Florida attorney that Priscilla chose, and the damage done to PPP by Priscilla has affected Cruz in Florida. Shaft responded to an email by saying, "We have no comment at this time." And it make it even more plain that Priscilla did have more extensive connections in Florida. Shaft details in court papers the plans that Priscilla had in 2022 was to move there. Ooh, news to me. With her large debts, Priscilla needed to find a way to live more cheaply, and Florida, with its lack of state income taxes and lower housing costs compared to California, seemed like a solution. Yeah, but most retirees go to Florida, right? Oh, I'm telling you, it just keeps getting better and better. Now, guys, the source of this, it's on the Daily Beast, but Tony Ortega is the one who wrote this article. And if you guys know him, he's the one that got close with Lisa Marie and found out that Lisa Marie wasn't with Scientology anymore. And he found out what she thought about Scientology. And she really dogged the crap out of Scientology when she could, behind the scenes. And she even was a source for news when she wanted a story to break out, you know, about this cult. So she did that, and she did that for us and for herself, I'm sure. It was probably a type of therapy for her because she had to leave. But I'm trying to find the last part of this article because I lost my page. Hold on. Okay, so, and to make things even more plain to Priscilla, did have more extensive connection to Florida. Shaft details in court papers that she was going to move there. Yep. And the lawsuit alleges that Priscilla, will you quit moving? This page keeps moving. The lawsuit alleges that Priscilla engaged a realtor to look for homes in Florida, and the realtor personally showed Priscilla a house on January 5th, 2023, that reminded her of Graceland. She allegedly wanted a house with a large lot in order to build a studio in an outbuilding. A studio for what? She's like, what, 80 almost? What she need a studio for? I'm trying to think, okay? What does she need a studio for? I mean, she should be loving on her grandbabies by now, traveling every once in a while, but not doing what she's doing. And this is why she's doing all those Q&As, right? I mean, put it in perspective here. If she's broke, that's why you see her everywhere now. She's even doing a Comic-Con in Lexington, Kentucky. What? A Comic-Con? We went through that last week. But still, this is ridiculous, guys. But according to the lawsuit, Priscilla also sought help from Donald Trump's realtor. Yeah, for finding property. Priscilla requested information from former President Trump's assistant, Eliza Thurston, regarding Mr. Trump's realtor for additional assistance in locating property in Palm Beach area. The day after meeting former President Trump, defendant said in Florida informed PPP. The lawsuit says. So did she go to Mar-a-Lago? Did she go there? But then, after months of work together, as the Coppola film was about to come out, Priscilla ceased participation out of the blue. Just poof, I don't want to do it no more. According to PPP's complaint, Cruz asked the court, since the two sides were claiming different facts about the matter, to hold an evidentiary hearing to get to the truth. I would say so, right, guys? The judge, Johnny Jordan, did just that, ordering an evidentiary hearing to occur on May 15th by Tony Ortega. Well, thank you, Tony, for that article, and thank you, Daily Beast, for putting it out there, you know? Oh, my gosh! So, Prissy Pants getting sued by Bridget Cruz for breach of contract. So, you know, I'm a fine believer of karma. And this is some karma. But this isn't poetic justice, not just yet. This isn't the years of torment that she put Lisa through type karma that she needs. Not just yet. So tune in. I'll keep going. I'll keep finding things as it comes in, guys. I'll let you know. I mean, it's some type of karma. It's not the karma that I was looking for. I mean, it is the dish, it is the tea, and it is something. But it's not quite the karma trouble that I was thinking was going to happen with all of this. I figured it would be more. What do you guys think in the comments section below? What do you guys think? Let me know, okay? Because I'll read your comments. I always do. I never have time to respond to every one of them, but I do like them, and I read them. So keep them up, okay? But what do you guys think about all this stuff? Let me know, and I'll get back with you guys if there's any more news that breaks. But right now, it's not poetic karma, but it's some karma. But we'll sit back and see how it rolls, okay, guys? But if you tune in to me, you know, I'll keep you guys with the news. I'll inform you guys as I get it, okay? Well, anyways, guys, I better go. I love each and every one of you guys. You could have went to any Elvis channel, like I said, but you went to mine for that. Thank you, guys. Also, Friday night is a little more Elvis conversation, and I can't wait for that because Friday Night Live is when I can connect with each and every one of you on live chat. So I am ready for that. Plus, it'll be Friday. Everybody loves Friday. Trust me, I do. But yeah, great stories tonight. Very interesting. Um, I just want that karma. I want that sweet, sweet justice. And until I get it, I'm not going to be completely happy. But a lot of you guys can understand why I feel the way I feel about that woman. Prissy, Prissy. The narcissistic, greedy witch that just got to have more and more and more, right? She runs it for everybody, but got to have more and more and more. That woman. But anyways, guys, TCBTLC, God bless y'all, and you know what? I'll see you on the other side. Bye, everybody. I'll see you guys Friday night, all right?